Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Happy Friday. Let's take a look here at Ton. This coin actually, I got some alerts triggered earlier, mainly because this point of control was retested. I want to see if that might be a potential pivot point for us, or more importantly, we just continue higher up without any, with the complete disregard, right? We're going to take a look and see if that is the case. We're also going to compare this coin with Bitcoin and kind of see, kind of how well it's performing, contrary to or inversely. Thus, what we want to also look at is these liquidation ranges here and kind of see if there's any incentive for the price to continue higher or lower. So if you are new to the channel, I ask you just quickly hit the like button, comment below. Go ahead and like, subscribe, follow if you could, and of course help grow the channel. Helps get this in front of more people too if you were able to kind of just hit that like button every time you watch a video. So appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll look forward to getting you some good education here today. So take a look here at liquidation levels in the last 7 days for Ton. We can recognize quite a few things here. First of all, 563 is that local area where a lot of folks are still short. Majority of shorts were swept, but we got some late shorts here too at about 580 to 590. So there's more incentive for the price to go higher than lower because there's a lot more liquidation to the upside. All right, that's really just all it boils down to. It's not a guarantee it's going to continue that way. It just really just implies that we got more people shorting than taking longs in the short-term time frame here. Even though it's a bullish trend, which is crazy to me. People are shorting into bullish trends. It's just, gamblers are going to gamble, right, folks? We take a look here at liquidation delta. The delta is pretty high, right? Basically implying you don't short into this. Now, if this stays too high for another 3 or 4 days, it may be a consideration because that would imply we have a ton of selling pressure and more likelihood the price is going to pull back. But for right now, I see this being mostly a bullish sign. There's nothing disadvantageous here, letting us know we're going to see a significant correction. Granted, I am expecting Bitcoin to pull back a little bit further. If you take a look here, I post my playout charts in our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. If Bitcoin does pull back to its macro support about 99,700, upwards of 102.3, that's a nice little solid area of support. Then we're going to see some altcoins pull back a little bit. And this coin probably will be one of those, just based on the simple fact that it's an altcoin and it's not like it's monumentally strong here today. But the fact that it hasn't broken out yet and we're coming into this little resistance range with a solid amount of support below us, there's a lot of reasons why further upside makes a lot more sense. Quickly to note here with open interest, let's take a look. Local, we have a lot of longs at 556. They're basically break even at this exact moment. And then of course we see a secondary entry about 545. But for the most part, it's kind of sparse here. We're seeing, the price action above majority of open interest, which also reinforces support below us. So again, let's remember that number. 545 is a round number. That is right here. What do you know? If we take a look at this point of control, if you can see it, there's a pretty significant margin of open interest right here. This is basically where people are the heaviest, okay? So when we have a pretty significant disparity there between volume at one area, it tells us there's a very large position there, and that usually implies support. We zoom out further, we can see that number is still pretty consistent. So 545 is like this naturally occurring number for this coin, right? So people seem to like that number, and that is an area of which we gotta be mindful of because that's a potential support level for us. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at there. We've got another, again, this is just strictly hypothetical. We got a double bottom on the macro that's kind of playing out here. Granted, if I ever take a trade, I don't look at, I don't trade patterns specifically. Some people do that solely and they fail to mention that they're very unsuccessful. Again, patterns have a higher tendency of breaking out, but they have an increased odds of success if the trend is moving in the same direction as the pattern, right? So for right now, we've broken this short-term descending trend line. We're over the 20-day SMA as of this moment, leading me to believe that further upside is probable, but also this potential playout for a double bottom is higher based on the simple fact that we are establishing higher highs and higher lows within the last week. Okay, now getting above 580, 595, those are different hurdles we're going to need to talk about later. But for right now, we're testing 50 on the RSI. Money flow index is tapering off, but it's still including the last 14 candles, which are still mostly bearish. We can see MACD is converging here, and with us being above the 20, that's a good starting point. But I'm not going to try to stretch the truth here and try to convince you to take a trade based on being above one moving average and the rest above us, okay? We got to recognize there is some resistance coming up here. So 590, likely resistance range for us. And then again, of course, there's a few other factors we want to look at in smaller time frames. But the daily time frame, I would say, is neutral to bullish. It's breaking bullish, but it's not quite there yet. 4-hour time frame, again, a good consistent amount of 4-hour time frames leads to a bullish daily time frame, right? You need good six 4-hour candles to get there. So hypothetically, at this point, we take a look, we can recognize that we're in pretty good shape here. We're above all moving averages in the 4-hour, minus the 200. That's tentatively above the price action, but the important thing is we're above the 20 and the 50-day SMA on the 4-hour. Those are two like natural occurring SMAs that happen more frequently in bullish trends, right? In other words, the price being above that, that's usually a good sign. Now, again, you can see false breakouts occur too, right? So it's not a guarantee, but the truth is we have a larger term trend line that we've broken above on the daily. It's important. We have our macro point of control at that 545. So that's all below us, i.e. reinforcing confluence at that lower number, okay? So it really just implies that we're in pretty solid shape here. We can see the SMAs, the RSIs rather, money flow index, stochastic, everything's looking pretty solid here. I wouldn't say there's anything like super stark and telling here. There's no hidden bearish divergence. If you hear people say the word hidden with anything, I would not trust them, okay? No offense, but anything that's quote unquote hidden is revealed, right? The definition of the word is just ridiculous in trading. But on top of that, you're typically stretching and you're trying to look for opportunities of momentum shifts when they haven't happened yet, when you see something that's hidden, okay? Just some friendly advice, be very careful when you see that. It's usually a false positive. It's much like a pattern that hasn't fully broken out yet when everything else is telling it's going the opposite direction. Okay, so 4-hour time frame looks pretty darn good, minus one little caveat, the 200 SMA. Same thing here as well with the hourly. Let's double check. This is one of those situations here where the lagging span is free and clear. The price action is soon to be, which is nice. Conversion lines over the baseline, lagging span's free and clear. And of course, we're above the cloud. So this is just 3 out of 3 reasons why a long position is much more viable at this point than a short. Keep in mind, if Bitcoin were to pull back, when we look at this coin versus Bitcoin, when Bitcoin retraces a little bit, we saw the ton pull back a decent margin. It was already pulling back beforehand. So recognize the fact that we could see a little bit more of a retracement for this coin before it pulls back. But once again, this kind of pattern that we're seeing here, the overall sentiment, we're looking pretty good. We're mostly breaking bullish, right? We're not quite there yet, but we're almost there. And those are usually the kind of trades that I like to factor in or to trade into, or more so, average in. Maybe get some skin in the game here, where the price action's at right now, and then a secondary entry at this point of control at that 545 mark, okay? Perhaps even a tertiary entry if you're into that kind of thing, just below the price action in case the price were to wick down and sweep any lower levels of liquidation. But generally speaking right now, it's pretty safe to say that taking longs, it makes a lot more sense than taking shorts with coins at this exact moment. If you're going to consider a short, watch it close, day trade only. And if you're going to consider a long, hypothetically wait for a slightly better entry because I feel like we might get that here soon. Again, Bitcoin is performing pretty well though, right? And as it does so, altcoins are going to follow suit. Okay, so I'll post a playout chart in our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I'll update this here so you can kind of see smaller time frame scenarios. Future reference, I do have a partnership with Bitunix. They offer trading benefits every single month. This month it happens to be futures bonus, Rolex watch, MacBook Pro, but next month it'll be deposit bonus rewards. All simple, easy stuff if you just use my link to register, okay? And again, the whole benefit there is just so you can have those consistent rewards. They have no KYC or VPN required either. Be sure to check them out. Hope you all have a good rest of your day though. Thanks again so much for your time. If you have any questions, concerns, feel free to reach out. CryptoCash.tech is the site, link down below. Look forward to work with you. Oh, quick congrats too again to our committee. I'm sorry, I always forget to highlight this. SEI, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, those are our 3 longs open right now, all currently on pretty solid profit. Thanks again for the awesome feedback. Hope you all have a good one. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.